I do think that vitamin C is important.
I think with vitamin C, it's almost you get what you pay for. Like, I think that the drugstore ones are definitely effective.
Especially when it comes to like the pure vitamin C, that's the active form, L-ascorbic acid. It's so hard to formulate.
These brands are putting the time, energy, effort into these trials and these studies to prove their efficacy.
When it comes to liquid vitamin C serum, that is the one we're mentioning. It's a SkinCeuticals C for like.
I do think that vitamin C is important. And don't get me wrong, I think there's some great vitamin C's over the counter as well, some affordable ones, but I do think vitamin C and like how they're packaged with other antioxidants. And then also for me, growth factors as well.
I think with vitamin C, it's almost you get what you pay for. Like, I think that the drugstore ones are definitely effective and they work, but sometimes there's a lot of formulation, packaging, things to consider that go into making that vitamin C, making sure it's stable, and you know the combination of other ingredients in it that can make it worth that higher price point.
Yeah, and I think especially when it comes to like the pure vitamin C, that's the active form, L-ascorbic acid, it's so hard to formulate. And I think we all agree, like if we're gonna like spend money on a vitamin C serum, probably would use the one that has like the most data, which is like the SkinCeuticals C for like. And I think that is why when you talk to dermatologists, like a lot of dermatologists either sell SkinCeuticals like vitamin C in their practice or use it on themselves or recommend it. It's because, you know, when it comes to like skincare products, it's exciting to see more being published, but I feel like there aren't that many actual particular product that has been studied, right? And this is by far one of the one product that has been extensively studied. I think there are like at least like 30 to 40, if not 50, like peer review publications on this product, whether it's the efficacy versus its like use, even like around procedures, post-procedure and pre-procedure. So I think this is one for me why I will splurge on for sure.
And that's why it costs money, right? Because these brands are putting the time, energy, effort into these trials and these studies to prove their efficacy. And so all of that equates to a more expensive product.
Totally. Yeah, I think, and also some people use the term medical grade, and I feel like there's like controversy out there because there's some derms who are like, we hate that term, and some that are like, it helps us like delineate between like this type of product and that type of product. But basically those expensive brands that I feel like have like those extensive clinical studies behind them, I think that's why they're expensive for a reason. And I think they get that like label, they're medical grade because of just the studies and their like application.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I feel like, you know, you guys probably get asked so much too, like, okay, well, you know, whatever vitamin C serum, is that the dupe for SkinCeuticals? And like, we can never answer that because I'm sure that brand has like no studies. But I tell patients too when they ask me is like, okay, like when you make muffin versus cookies, you use butter, sugar, and flour, but like how you make it will give you a cookie versus a muffin. So just because the ingredients are the same, it doesn't mean the end product is the same. So this is where it's like, take for whatever it's worth. But if I'm going to be using something that I want to reliably have an effect on my skin, I am going to use the one that's going to be studied when it comes to vitamin C and particular L-ascorbic acid. There are other forms of vitamin C, which I'm sure Lindsey would talk about in the Skin Better. That's great too. But when it comes to liquid vitamin C serum, that is the one we're mentioning. It's the SkinCeuticals C for like,
But Mamina also brought up growth factors. So things that are absolutely worth the splurge is when it's not easy to formulate those ingredients. So we already mentioned vitamin C. She mentioned growth factors, exosomes. We'll talk about that. So those are things like you can't just slap together and price it affordably. Like there is a lot, again, when we'll talk about plated, I spoke with like the scientists behind it, and it is not simple to create exosomes. And that is another reason why something might be worth, might cost a lot more versus when you look at something that's like a moisturizer that's $300 and you look at the ingredient list and there's nothing special per se about that, then that goes to, is it worth the splurge? That's your call, but it's not necessarily, there's not a lot of like formulation or whatever that would make that price tag worth it.
Yeah, so well said.
Totally agree.